Do you know how someone with a 200 IQ hides a notebook? First, you need to prepare a bottle of 98-octane gasoline. Then, create a hidden compartment in the drawer, wire it for electricity, and pour in the gasoline. The key is a simple ballpoint pen refill. By inserting the refill into a small hole beneath the drawer, the hidden panel inside the drawer will be triggered open. This allows you to safely retrieve the notebook. However, if someone tries to force the compartment open, internal magnets will connect, and the electric current will instantly ignite the gasoline, incinerating the hidden notebook within seconds. Not a single mistake can be made with this mechanism, or even the designer himself would suffer severe burns. Light Yagami was originally a model student with top grades. His IQ is so high that even Einstein would pale in comparison. Yet as a genius, he was destined for a life far from ordinary. His monotonous daily life and the endless reports of mundane crimes left him feeling disgusted and suffocated by the world until one day he saw a notebook fall from the sky onto the lawn. Driven by curiosity, he went over to pick it up. The words Death Note were emblazoned on the cover, and the rules inside were even more staggering. The human whose name is written in this note shall die. As a man of science, Light was naturally skeptical, yet he dismissively tucked the notebook into his bag anyway. Upon returning home, Light began to study it more closely. He found that to avoid killing the wrong person with the same name it specifies, you must have the person's face in your mind while writing their name. After the name is written, you have 40 seconds to specify a cause of death, and can even add specific details of the death afterward. If no cause is specified, the person will simply die of a heart attack. Despite his skepticism, Light's hand reached for the pen instinctively. Just as he was contemplating whose name to write, a news report aired about a murderer holding children hostage. Without hesitation, Light wrote down the name. After a tense 40-second wait, nothing seemed to happen at the scene. He thought it was just a prank, but in the next second, the scene suddenly descended into chaos. You must stop him. Honey, what's wrong with your face? Honey, what happened to your face? Who, to his surprise, the criminal actually died of a heart attack. This left Light deeply shaken. To verify if this was merely a coincidence, he decided to test it on another criminal. Light went out to the streets to find a new target and encountered a group of thugs harassing a girl. The leader even arrogantly announced his own name, providing Light with the perfect opportunity. Unsure of the exact spelling of the name, wrote down every possible variation. This scene convinced Light that the death note in his hand was indeed real. Back home, Light wrote feverishly, passing judgment on one criminal after another. In just 2.5 hours, he had filled 2 pages with names. While Light was admiring his handiwork, a voice suddenly called out from behind. The monstrous creature appeared in his room. Terrified, Light collapsed to the floor. Soon, he learned that the creature was Ryukei Shinigami, who governs human life and death. Bored with life in the Shinigami realm, he intentionally dropped the notebook into the human world, and Light was now its owner. You can use this power however you see fit. If you no longer want it, you can pass it on to someone else. But he will erase all of Light Yagami's memories concerning the Death Note. The only drawback is that the person who uses the Death Note cannot go to either heaven or hell after they die. Their names will instead be written into Ryuk's own notebook. Hearing this, Light Yagami was ecstatic. He never imagined he'd be the lucky one to find the notebook. With this, he could secretly judge criminals and show the entire world that a champion of justice is watching over them. In time, global crime rates would drop drastically. Soon, no one would dare to commit evil acts again.
Shinsekai no Kami, you are partying in the day. I wasn't asleep.
Ever since Light Yagami obtained the Death Note, life death note soon. This shift was noticed by the police. They found that the times of death had become remarkably regular over the past 2 days, which seemed to completely debunk L's previous deduction. L, however, had a different take just as they began to suspect a student. Kira changed his pattern. Clearly, he had access to police intelligence. Furthermore, through this incident, L concluded that Kira could control the time of death. He immediately requested that the FBI enter Japan to help investigate the Japanese police and their associates. Little did he know this move played right into Light Yagami's hands. The relationship between the Japanese police and L was already one of mutual convenience. What's more, L remained hidden in the shadows. Someone unwilling to reveal their name or face hardly seemed worthy of the Japanese police's trust. Coupled with the fact that Kira could now kill remotely, many officers were unwilling to become cannon fodder for L and began to submit their resignations. For a moment, morale within the Japanese police was in total disarray. Meanwhile, as Light Yagami was on his way home from school, Ryuk informed him that he was being followed and a sudden wave of unease washed over him. But he quickly regained his composure based on his behavior thus far. He shouldn't have compromised his identity. Presumably, L had already begun to suspect those within the police force, sending agents to investigate their families. However, if he allowed the shadow to remain unchecked, it would eventually slip up over time. The priority was to uncover the stalker's identity just as Light was agonizing over this. Ryuk revealed 2 secrets to him. The reason why a Shinigami writes human names in their notebook is to steal their remaining lifespan. As long as the Shinigami isn't too lazy, they can effectively achieve eternal life. However, humans who obtain a death note cannot enjoy this benefit, which is a fundamental difference between human and Shinigami owners. Hearing this, Light grew impatient. After all that rambling, tell me I can't extend my life. What does that have to do with me? However, Ryuk's next words piqued his interest instantly. There is yet another difference between humans and Shinigami. Shinigami can look at a human face and see both their name and remaining lifespan. This power resides in their eyes. A notebook owner can trade with a Shinigami for these Shinigami eyes, but at the cost of half of the owner's remaining lifespan.
If Light Yagami had agreed to exchange for the Shinigami eyes back then, would the story's ending He's gonna get there. You got some link, come on.
Suddenly the robber could see Rook and Ryo, instantly realized the paper from earlier was a page torn from the death note, and having touched a scrap of the notebook the robber could naturally see the Shinigami. As Ryuk drew closer, the terrified robber immediately opened fire. But how could ordinary bullets ever harm a Shinigami? To the other passengers, his frantic behavior looked like a drug-induced breakdown. Saying that the gunman was out of ammo, the FBI agent immediately lunged forward. Panicked, the criminal spun around and grabbed the driver. The bus veered out of control and came to a halt after crashing into the curb. The criminal scrambled out of the bus only to be instantly killed by a passing car. Every single detail of this incident unfolded exactly as Light Yagami had planned. He orchestrated this entire ordeal for one sole purpose: to obtain the agent's name.
Your name is... Go on, write it.
At this point, Light wasn't concerned with the potential risks. Through a period of careful observation and experimentation, he discovered a method of killing that even Ryukek was For this, they deserve our highest respect. Yet these officers didn't trust L at all. He had been hiding in the shadows barking orders, never daring to show his face or take action alongside them. They found it hard to admire someone like that. Hearing their concerns, L made a major decision. He agreed to meet them in person, but first, they had to decide if they would follow his lead throughout the case. However, as the 6 of them left the police headquarters, one of them began to have second thoughts. He felt that since L had always hidden his identity, his sudden willingness to meet was likely a trap. So he decisively chose to withdraw from the investigation team. The remaining 5 decided to give L a chance and headed to the hotel as agreed. take a call. Looking at Light's seemingly genuine and bright smile, the woman gratefully accepted his help. Afterwards, the two went for a walk outside to talk, during which time they exchanged names. In order to earn her complete trust, Light first mentioned Kira's ability to control his victim's actions before death. To his surprise, the woman had already deduced this as well. She even suspected that Kira could kill by means other than heart attacks. Hearing this, Light was deeply unsettled. He never expected anyone to have figured that out so quickly. But the woman's next sentence sent a chill right down his spine. As they talk, Light learns that the woman's fiancé was an FBI agent who was also involved in the bus hijacking incident. This makes Light instantly realize her fiancé was Ray Pemba. The woman explains that the bus hijacking was highly suspicious. Her fiancé was an agent assigned to shadow a suspect, yet he inexplicably followed that suspect onto the bus, encountered a drug dealer hijacking it, She had also lost her will to live. Now, she desperately needed a beacon to guide her path. Light Yagami's proposal was exactly what she needed in her darkest hour. Without hesitation, she accepted the invitation. This Light Yagami had finally achieved his goal. He then asked the woman to provide her identification. The woman hesitates upon hearing this, as the name she provided was an alias, but was exactly what Light Yagami had anticipated. While feigning surprise, he continues to commend her for being so cautious. As he takes the ID from the woman's hand, he quickly writes her real name into the death note. He then fixes his gaze intently on his watch, a gesture that leaves the woman deeply puzzled, wondering why he keeps checking the time. She realizes too late that Light has achieved his goal. At that moment, Light finally reveals his hand.
Because I am Kira. She won't be able to do. Farewell, Naomi Misora.
Naomi Misora.
What we've seen, Death Note is truly a masterpiece of the suspense genre. With its highly imaginative premise, it weaves a profound narrative centered on justice and human nature. The ultimate intellectual duel between Light Yagami and L is the series' greatest highlight. The plot is tightly woven and full of suspense, instantly drawing the audience into the story. To illustrate the complex psychological warfare between Light and L, the anime utilizes extensive inner monologues and visual thought cues, while this telling rather than showing approach clearly conveys their intricate strategic maneuvers. Some viewers might find the sheer volume of information overwhelming, or even slightly verbose. Fortunately, the pacing of the early episodes is relentless, with nearly every episode featuring major plot developments and twists. For first-time viewers, intense focus is required to keep up with every turn of the story. At its core, this is a fierce collision of two forms of justice: Light Yagami, who seeks to forcibly create a pure world through fear and death, and L, who represents the rule of law and respect for individual life. L opposes the idea that any individual should have the power to decide who lives or dies.